All right, do we remember translations? Yes or no? No. Yeah. Translations just slide the figure left, right, up, down, all that stuff. We don't flip it, we don't rotate it, we don't do any of that. All right, looking at this figure right here, these two figures, which one is the original or the pre-image, and which one is the image?
The
one on the right, this one here, there's my pre-image. How do I know that?
Because it has the A, but it doesn't have the
It doesn't have the prime. Now you don't need to copy this part down, just understand it. All right, now so if this number 1 over here is my pre-image, then number 2 over there is my image. Well, how do I get from the first one to the second one? How did it move?
It starts with a D.
How did it move?
Oh, wait.
Less 7 down 3.
All right, it obviously went to the left and down. The only question is how much. So I need to count from this A point to this A prime. Which direction do we need to talk about first? Left, right, or up, down? Left, right. Why? Which number? When we graphing a point, which way do we graph it first? Left, right. We always go left, right first, and then up or down second. It's the same thing here. So I went from here to here. How many spaces to the left?
7.
So if I go to the left on the number line, is that positive or negative?
Negative.
So that means I went minus 7 spaces for the X. What about the Y? Now I'm looking at going from here to here.
You went down 3.
So that would be
Negative 3.
Y minus 3 because I went down. So if I give you two figures, you should be able to give me the translation rule based on which way it went. If it goes to the right, what's that going to be? That's going to be positive. If it goes up, what's that going to be? That's going to be positive. Left and down are negative, right and up are positive. Now, if it gives you the rule and says apply the rule, all you've got to do is take these numbers and plug that in for the X and that in for the Y. So for this one, I would say C prime is going to be negative 2 minus 8 and then 4 plus 2. So that winds up being, what is negative 2 minus 8? Negative 10. And then what is 4 plus 2? There you go. All right, so for A prime, I would do 0 minus 8 and then negative 8 plus 2, which means my A prime answer is going to be
Negative 8. And
there we go. My T prime would be negative 3 minus 8 and then 5 plus 2, which means it is going to be
negative 11 and 7.
Any questions or problems there? All right, when I go to this one, same process. What am I going to do?
Plug it in.
I'm going to plug the numbers in. So for H prime right here, I would have 2 times 1 plus 2, and then 2 minus 3. We okay with that? So what is 2 times 1?
2.
2 plus 2 is?
4.
So this would be 4.
And
2 minus 3 is?
1. Negative 1.
All right. Next two are yours.
C.
All right, if I'm looking at A prime right here, I'm going to say 2 times negative 3 plus 2, and then negative 5 minus 3.
B. H prime will equal negative 4 and negative 8.
All right, this becomes negative 6. Negative 6 plus 2 is negative 4. Negative 5 minus 3 is negative 8. If you're missing that because you did the signs wrong or something, use the calculators now. Don't make a mistake because you try to do it in your head when the calculators are there for you. All right, last one, T prime, I'm going to say 2 times 4 plus 2, and then I'm going to say negative 1 minus 3. So T prime becomes
10 and negative 4.
All right, any problems with that? All right, now what? It's saying, here's the image, the finished version. I need to go back and find the pre-image. What are we gonna do? I disagree.
What did you say then?
All right, think about it now.
We swap.
Say that again.
Opposite.
Do the opposite of whatever's up here. Why am I gonna do the opposite?
Pre-image.
Because I'm looking for the pre-image. How did I get to B prime, A prime, and T prime?
They did
I did plus 12 and minus 17.
Now you got.
So in order to undo that, I've got to do the opposite. So if you're given the image and says find the pre-image, you're gonna do the opposite of whatever's here. So in this case, I would do B is gonna be 5 minus 12, and then negative 29 minus 17. Does everybody see that?
Yes.
And why are we doing that?
Because we're trying to get the pre-image.
So in order to get the pre-image, we've got to
Reverse.
reverse and do the opposite of whatever's there. Alright, so this would wind up being 5 minus 12 is negative 7, negative 29. Oh,
It's supposed to be plus.
I was going to say, it should be plus 17. Y'all should have caught me on that. Why has it got to be plus 17?
Because it's a negative.
I've got to undo that minus 17, so I should put a plus right there. And that's going to be negative 12. Alright, let's do one more of these. So, A right here is going to do what?
It's gonna be 20 minus 12.
20 minus 12, and then negative 19
plus 7.
plus 17. So A winds up being 8 and negative 2. Alright, you got the last one. Alright, if I'm looking here, and again, if I want to do the pre-image, what do I have to do? The opposite of whatever's in the formula up here. So I'm going to say that T is going to be 21 minus 12, and then negative 4 plus 17. So that means my answer is going to be 9, 13. All right, on the reflections, remember, if you reflect across the x-axis, what are we doing? Change the sign of the y. That's it. So here, my A prime is going to be 4, negative 7. B prime is 7, negative 1. C prime is 1, negative 1. All you got to do is change the y's. You got your reflection. Which way is it going to reflect? Either up or down, based on where it is to start with. Again, real quick. Negative 2, negative 4.
0, 8, 8.
0, 8, and then
Negative 3, negative 5.
negative 3, negative 5. So we should be good there. Then we got to reflecting across the y-axis. Reflecting across the y, we're going to change the sign of the x. Which way is this going to reflect? Either left or right, depending on where you start. So
Negative 4, 7. Negative 7, 1. Negative 1, 1.
alright, so B prime, negative 7, 1. C prime, negative 1, 1. Real quick.
Negative 1, 2. 3, negative 5. Negative 4, negative 1.
Alright, so we should be good there. Alright, now, reflecting across y equals x. If we look at the formula or the rule here, what happens?
You swap the x and the y.
Swap the x and the y. Swap the x and the y, switch the x and the y, whatever you want to say. But we're going to switch, swap the x and the y position-wise, and that'll give you what you need for reflecting across y equals x. What does y equals x look like on the graph?
Like here, 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 here.
Say it again.
Angle.
There's y equals x right there. So I'm reflecting it across that line. Alright, so we need to understand where we're reflecting it so that we know better what it's supposed to look like at the end. You know what it looks like at the end, that can help you as far as making sure you get it right. If I know I'm reflecting across the x-axis, I know I'm going up or down.
If
If it's reflecting across the y-axis, I know I'm going left or right. All right, we good here?
Sir.
All right, so look at what happens here. All right, so if I'm looking at, here's my y equals x line. All right, where's my original? Over here on the left. All right, so I've got that. I'm just going to take those. That -4 and 2 is going to change and become 2 and -4. This b, -3, -1 is going to become -1, -3, and then -5, -2 is -2, -5. So it's going to look different compared to reflecting across x-axis, reflecting across y-axis. Those look pretty much the same. These are not going to look the same like those did. All right, do those. All right, if I reflect b across the y equals x line, b prime is -12, -7.
Looks like a 3.
All right, then a prime is going to be -8, and t prime is 13.9. The only real problem you're going to have is remembering which rule to use when. The actual working the problem out, real easy. All right, reflecting across y equals -x. Well, what does that line look like?
It's that.
It's going this way. There's y equals
Swap
-x.
X and change something.
In this case, I'm swapping the positions and changing both signs. All right, so if I'm looking at this one, this a prime,
-6, -4, right?
I've got to change both signs and then switch them. So -6, -4. And then b prime is going to be -2, -4. C prime is -2, -2. All right. Now, how could you, or why should you have known that those were all going to be negative? And when I flip it over the y equals -x, it's going to go from here and flip across over there. So first quadrant or fourth quadrant has got to be all negative. Or excuse me, third quadrant. All right, so reflect those across the y equals -x. All right, w prime.
-21, -13, -9, 2, -24.
Any questions or problems with those? Again, the only real problem you're going to have is making sure you do the right rule at the right time. The rules themselves are pretty easy. All right, what are lines of symmetry?
Where you can flip it and be the same.
If I cut it in half and I fold it together, it'll be the same. Well, how many lines of symmetry does this one have?
3.
Right here, 1 and here 3.
Edge.
That's the normal one people see.
2.
But then I could also do that. Do we not see it?
They're all the same thing.
And then if I did this,
Yeah.
what about this one?
2.
What about that one?
1.
It's only one.
Oh, there's just one.
One.
Wait, there's not even one. There's not one.
There's 5.
It is 1.
It is one.
If I do that right there,
Oh,
doesn't that work?
Yeah.
But if I do that, well, then why can't I do
I was thinking
that?
Yeah, that's what I was
Yeah.
saying.
That.
And that.
Who's that
does
five?
work or doesn't?
Does.
Look now,
If I fold those together,
Yeah, I think that's true.
well,
Small.
if I rotated this star,
It's going to be the same thing.
this would be the same thing
Yeah.
Yeah.
5 times.
Yeah.
All I gotta do is go from that vertex to that vertex and we're good.
Yeah.
they gotta withdraw mine.